topic we are dealing with classification of this kingdom, and we started studying each phylum of kingdom Animalia in details. Likewise, we have studied so many phylums before. We have studied about Poriferas, Cnidarias, Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes, Aschelminthes, and today we are going to shift to the next phylum, that is Phylum Annelida. Now, when we consider this phylum, very familiar and very beautiful animals are included in this phylum. So, as usual, let us take an example and we'll go ahead and study its characteristics. So, the first example of Annelida, which is very familiar to us, that is farmer's friend. This is nothing but earthworm. Another example with which we are familiar with, not much, but we know that animal, it is nothing but leech. Okay, now this is a stained leech, means it is given color, okay, to preserve in the laboratory, but otherwise usually it is brown or black in color. Okay, now we will study characteristics of Annelida by using these two examples first, and then we'll take few more examples and we'll go and study some more details about Annelida. Now, when we consider Annelida, let us first study some general features of the animal. Now, Annelida are again worm-like animals. Most of them are worm-like, but not all of them. Okay, we will study some examples which are not worm-like, but generally they are worm-like animals. Now, second important characteristic of Annelida is that they show metameric segmentation. Now, do you remember what is metameric segmentation? This is a very specific feature of Annelida, especially earthworm. What is metameric segmentation? See, if you observe this body of earthworm, it shows segments, a longitudinal body segments, correct? So, these body segments are there, and these outer body segments coincide with the internal body segmentation. Means like segments are repeating, as well as the body organs which are present inside, they are also repeating. So, the special characteristic of Annelida, which most of the Annelida show, but not all of them, it is nothing but metameric segmentation. The second important characteristic of Annelida is its habitat. Now, when we consider habitat, generally they are aquatic. See what I am saying? Generally they are aquatic, living in either fresh water or marine water. But you will think where earthworms stay. Some of them even stay in a moist soil. Earthworm is not aquatic, it basically inhabits moist soil. Even leech inhabiting moist soil or moist forest. Basically, leech stay beneath the decaying leaves. Okay, so when we are walking in the forest, it gets stick to our skin and suck the blood. Okay, where it is staying? It is staying beneath the leaf. Okay, so these basically what I mean to say is either they are aquatic or they prefer moist climatic condition. Okay, they don't prefer in a dry habitat. So the earthworm basically die when the rainy season over, and October, November, when the heat is really increasing in the climate, that time earthworm die. Why earthworm die, that we will study little bit later. But next characteristic, see, first two characteristics we have studied, its habitat, aquatic or moist soil. Second characteristic, metameric segmentation. Now let us shift to the third characteristic. Now let us talk about its food, about its mode of living. Now, when we consider leech is parasitic in nature. It basically feed on the blood of human or blood of other animals. Okay, even some leeches actually attack to the other small animals like snail, like slug. Okay, and they even suck their blood. Okay, but basically it is parasitic in nature. On the other hand, earthworm is basically feeding on the detritus material, like decaying material. Okay, now another example which is called as Neris, we will after some time we will study about it. So this Neris is basically capturing prey and feeding on it. Okay, so likewise they show different mode of living, different food habitats. Earthworm feed on detritus material. Neris, which is another example of Annelida, which basically carnivorous. It captures its food and then feed on that food. Understanding? So this is third characteristic. Now let us go to the fourth characteristic. Now when we consider this animal, it is a triploblastic animal. These animals are triploblastic. What do you mean by triploblastic? Triploblastic means all three germ layers are present: ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. Understanding? It is now these are the first animals who are true coelomate. See, I am enlisting these terms. See, I am enlisting the terms. They are triploblastic. Then they are true coelomate. What they are? True coelomate. Now when we consider true coelomate means true coelom is present. Now these Annelida is the first phylum which is true coelomate. Understanding? Before that Platyhelminthes pseudocoelomate. Before that we have studied about Platyhelminthes which is acoelomate. Nematoda are the pseudocoelomate. But here Annelida is the example of Annelida phylum is showing true coelom. So there is a body cavity and we can even see body cavity in the adult animal. Okay, and this body cavity is basically filled with some fluid substances. Okay, and this fluid substance, see, this cavity will be called as coelomic cavity. The body cavity is there, so it is having coelomic cavity. Okay, and this coelomic cavity is filled with water-like substance which work as a hydraulic skeleton. Understanding? Okay, clear about it? Then as they are triploblastic, mesoderm is present, so all different kind of muscles are present in this animal. They are having longitudinal muscles as well as circular muscles. All different type of muscles are present in this Annelida. All in leech very strong muscles are there. In earthworm very strong muscles are there. Even other examples they are having properly developed muscles. Now next characteristic is that it is having tube within tube body plan. Now tell me, tube within tube body plan. Digestive system is complete with mouth and with anus. So as it is worm like, at one end there will be mouth and another end there will be anus. So digestive system is complete with mouth on one end and anus on another end. So tube within tube body plan. Then next thing you need to remember is about its respiration, which is very important to understand in this. Now see, when we consider respiration, basically earthworm respire through its skin. Respiration takes place through skin. Okay. Now when the respiration takes place by skin, it is called as cutaneous respiration. What does it call? Respiration is called as cutaneous respiration. Cutaneous respiration. So respiration takes place by skin. But there are some members of Annelida. There are some members of Annelida which are basically staying in the marine water and they even have gills. Some of them are having gills for respiration and some of them, most of them, respire through skin, that is cutaneous respiration. Now next thing you need to understand about these animals is that for their excretion of waste material, they are aminotelic in nature, means excrete ammonia because they are always constantly in contact with water, and they are aminotelic and they are having special organs or a special system for the excretion of waste material, and which is called as nephridia. What does their system is called as? Nephridia. Okay, so they are having nephridia which do the excretion of ammonia. So they are aminotelic and excretory organ is nephridia. Understanding? Another thing is that they are having closed type of circulatory system. Now closed type of circulatory means what? Blood flow through closed blood vessels. Okay, so this animal even show presence of blood vessels and it is having red colored blood. Like us, it is having red colored blood and that blood amount of blood is little less. Okay, so but it is having red colored blood and even it is having hemoglobin. Okay, so this is about its circulatory system. Now let us shift to the more important point. Now these two examples, that is earthworm and leech, both of them are reproductively, they are hermaphrodite. Both of them are hermaphrodite. When we consider hermaphrodite, or it is also called as bisexual, what does it mean? Both the sexes are present in one animal, in a single animal. So male earthworm and female earthworm kind of thing doesn't exist. Both the sexes are in same animal. And another examples like Neris and all, we will study it after some time. So this Neris basically is bisexual. There is a female Neris who produce female gametes, and there is a male Neris who produce male gametes. Understanding? So this is about its reproduction. Now next thing is that their development is usually in earthworm it is direct development. Means there is no larval stage. When egg hatches, earthworm egg hatches, the small earthworm come out. Okay. Even in case of leech it is direct. So when the egg of leech hatches, small leech come out. But in case of Neris, it is different. It is indirect. Okay. Now next thing is you need to remember about it is its fertilization. Fertilization is internal in case of earthworm and leech, and it is external in case of Neris. So Neris is exactly opposite as compared to leech and earthworm. Remember few things about Neris separately. Understanding? So let us see how this Neris look like, and then we'll go ahead and gather all the characteristics of Annelida. So these are two examples of Annelida, which are little different from the earthworm and which are little different from the leech. Now when we consider this example, this is Neris. This is what? Neris. Now when I consider this Neris, see Neris, it's little bit different animal than all other Annelida. Now see, this Neris basically is a marine animal. It stay in water, in sea water, as well as it stay in, see, whenever there is a rocky beach, there are a lot of rocks on the beach. Okay, that time it is having some cracks, crevices. So in that rock crack crevices in the sea, it stay inside. Okay, and it capture its prey and eat it. Okay, now when you consider this animal, it look dangerous, but it is not actually. It is not poisonous and all. It is normal animal, and this animal is having, this is its head region. Okay, and it is having 4 eyes. 2 pairs of eyes it is having, and it is even having this tentacle like structure. They are called as antenna like structure, and you can see on the side of it is having this hair like structure, which are called as parapodia. These small structures are called as parapodia, and with the help of these parapodia, this animal swim. Understanding? So it is very beautiful animal, and it is not dangerous. It just look like dangerous, but it is not. Okay, and this animal, like other annelids, it is having well developed muscles which help them to swim very well. Understanding? It is very good swimmer. Now next example, which is little different example of Annelida, this Christmas tree worm. Okay, which is also come under a genus called as Sabella. So Sabella are very beautiful Annelida. See, it look totally different. It exactly look like Christmas tree. Okay, but it is a cousin of earthworm, or it is a cousin of Neris kind of. But it doesn't look like them at all. It is a filter feeder animal, and it basically stay in the deep ocean. It basically stay in the deep ocean of Pacific basically, and then it survive for long duration. Now suppose I consider some animals, I'm not talking about this particular animal, but other animals in this phylum, they survive up to 250 years. They are small animals of 3 millimeter length, but they survive more than 250 years. So these are the among longest living animals on earth. Okay, so they are very beautiful and very Very interesting animals. So let us gather all the characteristics which we have studied about Annelida. So the first characteristic is they are aquatic, live or either living in the moist soil. They are free living, sometimes parasitic. They are the one who show metameric segmentation, organ system organization. They show bilateral symmetry. They are triploblastic. They show true coelom, and this coelom is filled with coelomic cavity and which work as a hydraulic skeleton. Remember this. They show tube within tube body plan. Then their body wall is made up of cuticle. Okay, it is called as cuticle, and they show a good development of muscle. Both circular as well as longitudinal muscles are present. Remember, before we have studied nematoda. Nematoda was having only longitudinal muscles. Circular muscles were totally absent. But these show circular muscle as well as longitudinal muscle. Excretion by nephridia. Nervous system. Now Annelida show a proper well-developed nervous system. Their nervous system is basically having nerve ring, 2 nerve rings. Okay. And on this 2 nerve ring there are ganglion. If you remember, I explain you what exactly the ganglion is. Now you tell me, what is ganglion? Ganglion is nothing but accumulation of neurons. Okay, so there is one such a ring and ganglion on the head or inside the head, and one more ring and ganglion on the tail region, and they all are connected by nerve cords. So this kind of nervous system is called a ganglionated nervous system. The next one is they are having closed circulatory system with red blood and blood cells with hemoglobin. Respiration, remember which respiration? Cutaneous respiration, and sometimes they are having gills. Now another characteristic is they do locomotion either by suckers. In case of leech, they do movement with suckers. Neris do with it parapodia, and setae are some examples, or some Annelida do movement with setae. Then the next one is some are unisexual, some are bisexual, some do internal fertilization, some do external developments, in some cases direct, some cases indirect. Okay, remember Neris is exactly opposite in all these characteristics than earthworm. Okay, and examples earthworm, leech and Neris. So this is all about Annelida. In next video I'll see you with the next phylum Arthropoda. Till then, goodbye, take care.